Howdy folks, Danny with Danny Links calling back with another daily devotion. And it won't be a long, drawn out thing. I'm going to try to start doing these every day. And I think I'm going to do two of them from two different devotionals. I think they align a lot of times in our lives. Right now, what I want to do is read to you my devotional from this morning, and then we'll go through a little bit. So this is from 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 16. He answered, "Do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them." Horses, chariots, and a great host shut up the prophet in Dothan. His servant was alarmed. How could they escape from such a body of armed men? But the prophet had eyes that his servant had not. And he could see a greater host with far superior weapons guarding him from all harm. Horses of fire, mightier than horses of flesh. Chariots of fire, preferable to chariots of iron. The adversaries of truth are many, and truth fares ill at their hands. Yet the man of God has no cause for trepidation. God has armies in ambush that will reveal themselves in the hour of need. The forces that are on the side of the good and the true far outweigh the powers of evil. Therefore, let us keep our spirits up, for we possess a cheering secret that has lifted us above all fear. We are on the winning side. Go back and listen to that a couple times. So, where are we? Who is this? Who are we talking about? We're in Dothan. This is the prophet Elisha and his servant, his attendant. I've always heard that he was his student, right? Every prophet always had a student that he was teaching behind him. And so this is who is speaking, and this is what's going on. So the Syrian army, the Aramean army, and if you don't know the history of Assyria and its connection to modern day terrorism, they're the father of it. The Assyrian army, Aramean army, has been hunting Elisha, the prophet, and they don't like what he's been saying that God's going to do. And so they're hunting him. They're going to kill him, or so they think. And his servant wakes up in the morning realizing the city of Dothan is surrounded by this army. Surrounded. There ain't no getting out. And he's scared to death, right? They're coming to kill Elisha, and guess who they're killing with him? And rightly so, right? He knows this army's been after him, and they have caught him. And they've got him hemmed in. The mountains surrounding the city are full of these troops. And all they've got to do is sweep down on them, and they're gonna get them, right? how are you going to stop this gigantic army? Well, Elisha's not afraid at all. I mean, he's just calm as a cucumber, right? And his servant just don't. He's like, dude, what's that? What is going on? They're fixing to come kill us. And Elisha calms his fears by saying, "Oh, don't worry. The ones that are with us are way more than the ones that are with them. Our army is way bigger than their army. Our troops are way stronger than their troops." And see, Elisha can see things spiritually through spiritual eyes that these old eyes of flesh can't see. And the Lord has given him spiritual eyes to be able to see the spiritual world around him. And so he's not a bit afraid. And of course, his servant's like, "What are you talking about? There ain't nobody there but this gigantic army, armed and dressed for battle, warriors, horses, chariots, armor, all of it. I mean, you're doomed, right? You're surrounded." Well, God opens the servant's eyes to see what Elisha sees. And when he looks then, what he sees is, there's this big old giant army around him, and there's chariots made out of fire, horses made of fire, angels, multitudes of angels, many more angels, horses of fire, chariots of fire than what the enemy has against him. Many more, much stronger. Now who's in trouble? Right? He just realized, we are not the ones at danger here now. They are. God sent an army of angels and horses and chariots of fire to protect us against this enemy. Elisha don't die that day. Neither does that young fella. So I won't do a full Bible study on this. I'm just going to take that point and apply it. That's what we do with Scripture. Find out who's talking, where are they at, who are they talking to, what are they talking about. What does it mean in the context of the time? What does it mean to us today, and how can we use it in our lives? So here's the message for you today, for me today. There's a terrible army against us. Hey, people we love are against us. People we've committed our lives to are against us. People that we've tried to love, they hate us. Everything in the world seems to be coming against you. Even in your greatest blessings being fulfilled, there's giant hardship, right? I just spoke to a lady today who is the wife of a fellow that owns a knife company. I won't call him out, but they're good folks, and they have a great knife company, right? But it's small, right? Handmade knives, He makes all these knives, right? There ain't no giant factory. There ain't no 500 employees. None of that. It's them. And this heat wave banging out steel and making knives. But, well, let me say and, not but. I hate the word but. And they've got more work than ever. They can't slow down. Now, in this heat wave, hey, if they didn't have tons of orders and stuff, maybe they would slow down, right? But that ain't happening because they've just got contracts at several different large knife stores. Their name's out there in a much wider area now, and they're selling knives like they've never sold them before. At least if they haven't seen that money yet, it's coming, right? I could tell a whole story, but I won't. There's a story. I was listening to friends of mine that were in 38 Special the other day, Don Barnes, the singer, and he was saying, there was years after they were famous, big hits, selling out, giant hits on the radio, before they really started seeing money come their way. There was money, dribbling in. They got to keep you alive. They can't have you starve out there on the road. They can't have you sitting on the side of the road hitchhiking somewhere. They got to keep you moving. They got to keep your life going, right? But they owed the record company $1 million because they had their first two albums were flops. And this was their first hit, right? First hit single. And it was a couple years before it was like, okay, y'all have paid us back now. I think he said like a year later, or 2 years later, something. The record company said, hey, great news. You only owe us $700,000 now. For your even, right? A lot of people said y'all would have been better off just forget the record company and go start over, right? You've now got the winning combination of sound, instrumentation, vocals. It's come together. What you were doing wasn't working. What you are doing now is working. And so, all you got to do is now take this recipe and keep building that, right? Build more into that. Do more of that. And that got them a long way down the road, right? Like most things, all good things come to an end. But times change. But for a long time there, man, they were on top of the world. But there was a long time before the money. They were famous. People knew their name. They were filling places out, selling records on the radio, but they weren't living in the lap of luxury and mansions, right? They were just getting by. Now, they were on the road 99% of the time, right? So what more do you need other than to be able to just keep going for now? But someday that money's got to start coming, right? It's got to start paying back. And so here they were. Their greatest blessings, their greatest prayers had been answered, and they were in some of the hardest time they'd been in. And there were temptations to do things that they knew better than to do. The record company was unlike most record companies. They had let them have 2 failed albums and gave them one more chance. They were letting them grow, find their own voices. Because it was A&M, who was, run by 2 musicians, very famous musicians. And they knew how this has to work, should work. You don't just grab people and go, "Nope, you ain't no good. Nope, you ain't no good." You got to let people find themselves and grow, right? Well, they had found that thing that was going to work, and sorry, my nose is itchy. So they were thrilled, right? Yes, and golly, a hole we got to dig ourselves out of. This is what my friends are dealing with too. Um, the money probably hasn't started really coming this way yet. It may take, getting the record deal, right? Getting the deal at the knife stores is just the first step. It's not the end. It's not the last step. It's not the end. It's the beginning of maybe something better. And everything's always a maybe. There's no guarantees. So the money, they hadn't just got rich overnight. They're struggling. It's hot. They're out here in a hot shop with a furnace going and, grinders and sweat and working, having to work harder than ever because you've got to get knives out to these places now. You have to do it. You've got not just customers now, you've got stores selling your stuff. You've got to supply them so they have knives to sell to your customers, right? And their customers. So, you may be in a place where you're like, Lord, I've been praying for this, but here it is, and I've never had to work harder. This has never been any harder. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can do it. You may be facing hardship in your marriage. You may be facing hardship with children at work. In your faith. You may be questioning things that you never questioned before. Maybe you always question them, and now all of a sudden you're finding answers, and you don't know wait a minute. Why didn't I know this? Where have I been? I've been going to church all my life. I never heard none of this. Why is my preacher not talking about stuff like this? There's all manner of woe and hardship in this world. And we all deal with it. Not every bit of it. We all deal with a lot of it. We don't all deal with exactly the same things in exactly the same ways. Once in a while, we deal with something, and you've had a friend in the past that went through something, and you thought you was a really good friend. Ask me how I know. You were trying to be a really good friend. You weren't pretending. You were being a good friend, right? But now you've been through that very thing, and you realize, oh my goodness, I had no idea. I had no idea this was this hard. I had no idea this was this bad. I had no idea how this would feel until it hit me right in the face. You can go from thinking you know how you'll feel about something, in a split second later, be confronted with that thing, and all bets are off. You had no idea how hard this would be. Hey, I know. And, people say, don't you tell me you know how I feel. You don't know how I feel. Well, I probably don't. I can't know exactly how you feel. You're a different human being. You're dealing with some different things than I have. Even if you're dealing with the exact same thing, it's probably not exact. Circumstances are different. The people are different. There are differences, right? So, here you are. What are you going to do? What are you going to do now? Are you going to fall apart? Is that strong man or woman, young girl, young boy, is that strong person that you thought you were suddenly not feeling so strong? You want to give up. Everything it tells you to give up. You know what? You just don't even need no more of this. It'd be better off to be dead. This is ridiculous. How many things do I have to go through in my life before I don't have to keep fighting for every dadgum inch every day? Seems like there's people out there that just float on, ain't it? Right? They always made plenty of money that never have a hard time with money and jobs and career. And I mean, success just came to them. They touch it, it turns to gold. Then there's those of us that had to fight for every single thing every single day. We didn't get anything for free. We didn't get an inheritance of money. We didn't get a brand new car when we was a kid, or a car at all. We didn't get no help. Hey, I had to go in the Marines because you know what? There wasn't nobody there to help me. They wasn't even helping themselves. They were wrapped up in things they should have never been wrapped up in. And it was eating away. That was years later when it finally come totally crashing down. I mean, it was failure the whole time, but it just completely crashed years later. I had to go make a way. Young boys, we feel like we can do anything. We're strong. We're young. We got the world ahead of us. There's nothing can stop us. Man, my name's Bulldog Smith. If there's something in the way, I will bulldog through it. I don't care if it's a wall, a rock, a giant. I don't care. A wall, I'll figure out a way to get over it. If I can't get over it, I'll get around it. Or through it. I'll find an axe. I'll go to cutting. And that's a great thing to have. Men have to have that. I don't know that women these days, well, let me say this. Many women do not appreciate what men bring to this fight. Because they bring a lot to the fight too, right? They fight in different ways. They see things differently. They say things differently. They act differently. They are different. They're supposed to be different, right? We're supposed to be different than them. And we make a complete team together. Because alone we really can't do it all. Women have been told that lie for decades now. You can do it all. You can do it all. You can have it all. Don't depend on no man. I have never heard a man be told, don't you depend on no woman. You can do it all. You can have the babies. You can cook the dinners and feed them and wash the clothes and work an 80-hour week. You ever heard any kind of mess like that come out of a man's mouth towards a man? Women have been told this their whole lives, for my whole generation. And you know what men been told? You're flawed. You're just terrible women. If you were just like women, you'd be better. But you're not. You're toxic masculinity. sit down, come inside, be quiet. You're going to get hurt. You're going to hurt somebody. Y'all stop fighting. Be girls. This world is upside down, y'all. And we've got a whole generation, if not two, of men and women that have grown up in this atmosphere. Men are horrible. Men are jokes. Men are stupid. They're evil. Women are good. Women are strong. Men are weak. Women are capable. Men are not. Women haven't been torn down. They've been built up. Now, they've been built up into lies that they can have and do everything alone by themselves. They've been lied to as well. They've just been told good things about themselves. They've been prouded up. You should be proud. Pride comes before the fall on it. Men know all about being proud. It's their nature to be proud. Until you realize you ain't really the one to thank for everything you have. God is. You wouldn't have a job if he didn't allow it. You wouldn't have a car if he didn't allow it. You wouldn't have a house. You wouldn't have a spouse. You wouldn't have a child. You would not have air to breathe. You wouldn't be able to stand flat-footed on the earth because there wouldn't be no gravity. There wouldn't be an earth. There would be nothing without him. You have been allowed to play a part in his design for your life. You didn't design it. You've been allowed to play a part in it. He designed it. Regardless of what you believe about God and don't believe about God and don't even believe there is a God and all this kind of mess, you'll find out. You'll find out. Because he has a plan. And he will use your evil to do good. I saw somebody today that denies God, claims everything good is evil, actually call out the Democrats up there for passing kill the baby while it's being born legislation and cheering and smiling about it and call that out as evil. Well, how do you know? Where did you get a standard to say murdering babies is evil? Why? Who said? They say it ain't. How do you know it is? Where'd you get that from? I can tell you where you got it from. It wasn't out of here. It wasn't out of your goodness. I hate God. There ain't no such a thing as God. I'm good. I'm all the God I need. I'm my own God, you know. Y'all, if these are the things you believe, get down on your knees and beg for forgiveness. If you know people like this, pray for them. Pray for them. God has a plan. He has aligned things in your favor. It may seem like the worst thing you've ever been through right now. If you pay attention if you believe in him, if you watch him, if you look at him, if you follow him, you will eventually get down the road and look back and realize, I'll be darned. He really did have a plan. There must be a God, because there's no way this would have worked out this way from where I was to get to where I'm at now today. There's no way that would have worked out because of my doing. I had no idea what I was doing, where I was going, where I was headed, where that was going to end up. I had no idea. So I kind of went on. I know. But I'm going to try to just make these little, little short things. This was the first one, so I'm breaking myself in. I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to try to keep it shorter. It's a little longer, but I'm going to try to keep it shorter. And hopefully I can read it better, because it was, the book's bigger. It was easier to lay out flat and get a good picture of it. I can't read. I can look. You see this little book? Faith check book? This is Charles Spurgeon. Charles Spurgeon. If you don't know who Charles Spurgeon is, you ought to find out. If you don't know who Charles Spurgeon is, ask me. You see how little that writing is? It's little for me these days, even with glasses on. Right now I'm seeing okay. With glasses on, I'm seeing pretty good. A lot of days that ain't so. It depends, sugar and all kind of different things affects your vision. There ain't no way I could read that. There ain't no way. If I put my glasses on, I could probably read it if I do this. Right. So I took a picture of it. Well, I was posting it on stuff. So then I had the picture. So then I could put it on my tablet and my photographs and read it off of there. But this little book is hard to lay flat. So guess what? It was kind of like that, So it's kind of like you're reading over a corner. A little hard. I'm going to read from on this here daily devotional. I'm going to read from this every day. Going by the date. So if you get you one of these, you could follow right along on the date. I just got it, so I started 2-3 days ago on August 14th, I think, something like that. I think today's the 17th, right? And so I'm going to read out of this from the day. I'm going to read that every day. Get you one. I bet you. I'll look it up if I can find a. If I can find a link to it on Amazon or something, I'll link it below. The next one I'm going to be reading out of this book, Experiencing God, Day by Day. Blackberry. It's a good bit bigger. I mean, right? Let me see. Let me put this at the bottom. You can see how much bigger it is. Good bit bigger, right? This is more like a paperback. This is more like a leather bound kind of thing, And so the pages are a good bit bigger. It still ain't big writing. There's a lot on there. But this book, I'm able to lay out flat a little easier, I was able to lay it out pretty flat, get a good flat picture of it. So hopefully the next one, right after this, will be a little easier for me to read. I'm going to have to do some editing this when I was having a hard time reading. And hopefully I won't have to do that in this one because editing takes too much time, y'all. So, y'all remember, keep your powder dry and your blade sharp because we're living in perilous times, y'all. And we need this every day. Read a little bit of the Bible. You read a little verse. It takes 5 minutes. Probably takes me 10 minutes. Probably take y'all 2 minutes. And then a little explanation below, right? It's a good way just to get some Bible in every day. Just a little, 5 minutes. Just do, you don't have to do 2 of these guys. Just get you a book. Just get you one of these books. If I can find this one, I'll put a link to it down below too. And I'll put links to both of them below each one every time. So, I love y'all. And I appreciate you. If one of you watches this, that's all it takes. Send it to somebody. I could care less about monetization. I probably ain't never going to get that. And I mean, I don't know. Who knows? God may have plans. I don't know. I don't think I'm getting there on my own. But I don't know. God's working a lot of things, so we're going to see. But if you see this, if it speaks to you, share it with somebody, and hit that like button, subscribe, all the things, because they don't know that you watch. If they act like you didn't watch, if you don't like it, it'll say 500 views, no likes, and they're like, man, they didn't like it, and probably 500, probably 400 of them watched a minute of it, 3 seconds of it. The algorithms are like, you're taking way too long to get to the point in a 60-second video. It's like, how long can it take me to be getting to something if the video is only 60 seconds long, y'all? People don't have 2 seconds of attention span. So I hope you do, because I can go on. I like to talk. Bless y'all, for real. And I'll see y'all tomorrow, because I'm going to try to do this every day. And I will, I don't want to have to do it 7 days a week, so I think I'll try to start banking these up ahead, so I don't have to do it Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, I can't do nothing else, and I like to go to church and stuff. So, y'all take care of yourself by letting God take care of you. Lean on Him. He has got an army around you. He's got people that are praying for you. And if you need prayer, you just ask. You don't have to just go down there. Do me a favor, go down there and say, hey, I liked it, or whatever. And then come message me in private and ask me for prayer if you don't want to say that out in public, right? I'll pray with you. And I won't embarrass you. I won't call you out. I won't say your name. If you need prayer, I'm here with you. And I got a lot of other people that'll be praying too, because I will be telling them too. Hey, I know somebody, they need prayer. This is what it's about. Or maybe not even. I ain't supposed to say what it's about, but, or who it is, but, they need prayer. God knows. See, we don't even have to tell Him what it's about. He already knows. He knows who's in your mind. He knows, see. God bless y'all. If you like knives and all that kind of stuff, go over and watch Bulldog Smith Farms. I talk about Jesus over there way more than they want me to, probably. But I hate to tell them. That's just part of it. There ain't going to be no talking about knives or guns or hunting and fishing without talking about Jesus, or farming and planting and none of that. Jesus is going to be in every bit of it. I got a good lesson on that, on farming, and a lesson I learned the other day from my preacher. Y'all be blessed, and I'll see you back next time at Danny Link's Calling. All right?
Came creeping late on a Friday night, looking for some trouble, looking for a fight. He crossed the line at Bulldog Smith Farms, didn't hear the sirens, didn't hear the alarms. He found out quick, it's the Bulldog way. He won't be walking